Will you follow me when the sky starts to change? Yeah, we won't be afraid. We'll never be the same again.
With anime in their souls and thoughts of wrestling out of control, they are a group of weebs who love the entertainment of professional wrestling. So allow us to be the voices inside of your head as we go through the wrestling events of the evening, give our thoughts and predictions on what's to come, and provide an experience inclusive to all you nerds out there. So grab your steel chair, yell for the table, and get put through an experience unlike any other. Brought to you, of course, by Animal We Studios. This is the Weebs of the Ring podcast. Welcome, everybody. Happy Monday. Hopefully, your week has started off pretty well, if not decently. If not, hey, at least there's Tuesday, which is the actual worst day of the week. And if you want to talk more about that, hey, maybe we will at a later date. But of course, welcome to the show. We had Monday Night Raw tonight, the last Raw in America for the next couple weeks. They're going to be over in Europe, so we're going to have some earlier shows. So, Weaves of the Ring is probably going to be starting a little earlier those weeks as well. Yeah. So again, happy Monday to everybody. Welcome all of our returning viewers, all of our returning listeners. Hopefully you guys are doing well out there. But of course, if you're new around these parts, you don't know who we are. Well, of course, like I said, we are known as the Weaves of the Ring, and I am one of your co-hosts, your reigning, defending, undisputed heavyweight champion of the world, the most decorated podcaster in all sports and entertainment. I am Watkins around these parts. I'm going to help guide us through the event tonight, and yeah, give a little sprinkle here and there about like what's going on and all that. But of course, I have one lovely gentleman with me tonight. Unfortunately, Vash is out with The Rock, kind of preparing for this weekend, which, we'll have some news about that coming up. But of course, we have the genius of the mat himself to help us process these stories going on. Ladies and gentlemen, drop this box. Drop, how you doing tonight?
I'm doing pretty good. Just interested to talk about a few things on the show because I will say today, minus a couple things that we got tonight, really wasn't feeling this show that much outside of a few things. So just going to be honest when I say that. Obviously, when you hear me and Watkins talk in this episode, it will more than likely be things we're more interested in when we're like a bit lengthy there. But for the most part, I mean, it's like Watkins says, some of the stuff can easily be an email on here.
Yeah. So I'm glad I'm not the only person who kind of thought that this Raw was kind of lacking in a lot of spaces, in a lot of areas. But we'll dive into those as we get to it throughout the night. So of course, ladies and gentlemen, take a seat back, enjoy as we go right into our headline story. I think I want to start off with this. So we were going to have Naomi coming out to address the WWE Universe, and a lot of the rumors going around appeared to be true. Naomi and Jimmy are expecting a little baby Uso to come on out, and Naomi unfortunately has to relinquish the title. So I kind of want to hear from you first.
Yeah.
How do you feel about this? Because Naomi had just won the title not too long ago. She had that big defense at SummerSlam, and yeah, this kind of puts a halt on her push at the moment. I mean, I assume when she comes back, she'll be gunning right for the title. But yeah, timing of this is kind of bad. But again, congratulations to her though, her and Jimmy for about to have their first kid and all that. But yeah, your thoughts on everything?
So for one, congratulations to you and Jimmy for your baby that's going to be on the horizon very soon. I look forward to seeing it. I look forward to the moment itself and everything. So with that in mind, I'm happy for the family. And I mean, the best thing I can say is, things happen. This is real life. So obviously she told us beforehand that this was one of the things that was on her mind, because I recall that, she brought up this year that, she's not getting any younger. She's getting at the age where she's probably going to wind down soon. So I wouldn't be surprised in the slightest if this is her last run in WWE after everything is all situated with this current contract. And then maybe she'll probably, just focus on raising her child and everything like that, because she has been in the business for quite some time. It's not like she's only been here for like 2 or 3 years. She's been there ever since, the Funkadactyls and all that stuff going on many years ago. So she's been in the game for quite some time. And it does suck in in a word in a way when it comes to her push being at a halt, but at the same time, with this in mind, it's I not really that bothered by it and everything.
Mm-hmm.
If anything, I'm more interested to see where we go to next. I feel like that's probably the bigger question I have other than this, because it's like you said, whenever she comes back, she's going to be gutting for the title. She even said that herself tonight before she laid the title in the ring. So I would assume if she appears within, 9 months or so, once everything gets situated, she'll be back to do her thing like usual. But they even mentioned on commentary that we're going to find out exactly what's going to be going on with that when it comes to Stephanie Vaquer, because obviously she was the number one contender, gutting for Naomi to get a shot at that title. She still has her shot. And the only thing I could really think of that they might possibly do is potentially a battle royal next week, because I don't know if they're gonna really throw a whole bunch of girls together for like a fatal four or whatever, and then determine it that way. Usually when it comes to situations where they gotta restructure things and everything, they usually just say, oh hey, let's do a little battle royal to determine who's next and everything. So that's where I can possibly see it going. But the big question is, we know that Stephanie is in the picture now, so we obviously know that she is the contender there. So who on the show might she possibly go after for that title?
I mean, my immediate mind goes to Iyo, because she was supposed to have that championship match. What was it, like a week ago?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was last week. So it's just like, okay, we could just throw her the bone and be like, okay, let's just throw her and Stephanie together, because like we still haven't had a decisive winner between those two. And what better way to have that decisive winner than have it be for the title and all that? Like that, I think that would be kind of cool. And I mean, even if they have to have Iyo win like a battle royal, say, to get to that spot, fine. But I mean, at least at this point in time, I would probably put Iyo in that position and maybe do more with like kind of pushing the story with her and the Kabuki Wars. Like, I mean, we'll get into that later on tonight. But that could kind of help push that story along as well if they were to possibly cost her or like accidentally cost her, like something like that. That, I mean, that's just where my mind immediately goes when it comes to who would even contend for this title at this point. Um, but yeah, I think Naomi, like, she didn't have a long reign with it, but yeah, once she's healed up from the pregnancy and has their baby healthy and all that, she'll be back. She'll be probably one of the front runners, if not the front runner for the world title at that point. And yeah, just again, congratulations to her and Jimmy. I'm not sure how I feel about the announcement being done through Steph's little podcast, but I think one thing I kind of thought about with that too is just like when watching not you watching Naomi in the ring carrying herself, it might have been a little bit of nerves on her end, so it could have been just a thing where she maybe went to production and said, "Hey, I want to do this announcement." But like I because even her on the podcast kind of struggled saying that she was pregnant herself. So it could have just been one of those things where the company was just like, hey, we'll help you announce this to the fans by using the clip from the podcast and all that. So it could be something from there. But again, congrats to Naomi, congrats to Jimmy. The bloodline will continue to reign supreme for many decades to come, which is great to see. Yeah, and we'll find out our new women's world champion at Clash in Paris. So if we don't have anything else to say about the matter, we can always dive right in to our world heavyweight title picture right here, because we've got a fatal four-way going on at Clash in Paris. Seth Rollins defending against CM Punk, Jey Uso, and LA Knight. Yeah. Seth starts off the night, but it's actually Paul Heyman who's doing all the talking. He's hyping up the Vision like he's been doing the past few weeks, talking about how great they are, how much they're goats and everything. Continues to talk smack towards Roman during all of this. And when Seth's about to speak, out comes Jey, who kind of runs them down, and he's just tired of their crap and all that. And Seth kind of riles Bron Breakker up a little bit. They're about to have a fight, but no, they pull him back. And then Paul Heyman with I thought his promo here was fantastic. Like running down the greats of ECW, including being like the late great Tommy Dreamer. Wait, he's dead? No, but he should be. Like just like a jab like that or whatever. Basically goading Jey into an Extreme Rules match with Bron Breakker. So I thought the Paul Heyman part, like at the end with like running down the ECW legends, I thought that was a really great part of this segment. But we're getting into that part now where like they're doing a lot of the same segments, because I could have sworn we saw this segment like last week or the week before or the week before that. Like it just seems like whenever they start the night like this, it's usually Paul Heyman hyping up the Vision and hyping up the guys and all that. It's just like, that's great and all. Can we have that build up be like during matches or like during like it's more, for me, it's more show don't tell. Like, yeah, you could tell me how great they are and how badass they are, but how about you show me? Like Bron Breakker tonight, for example, showed me how much of a badass he is. Bronson Reed has shown me how much of a badass and how much of a destructive force that he is from like his matches with Braun Strowman and all that. Like, I don't know, just I prefer more show than tell when it comes to my hypeness and all that. But Drop, what do you think of this opening segment? Did you feel like it was still a little samey? Did it add just a little bit more to building up the Vision and building up for a main event? Talk to me.
I probably have to say the same thing, because it just seems like we're repeating the same thing every single week when it comes to whatever Seth Rollins and his group is saying. Like, I kind of wish it would be a little bit different, where maybe we start talking about the next motive and everything outside of like the same people intervening, because it's always either LA Knight, CM Punk, Jey Uso, which I understand Jey Uso because of what happened tonight and because of the current storyline all these guys are in. But it just seems like we're not really like moving the needle anywhere before we get through this little pit stop that's like LA Knight, Roman Reigns, Jey Uso, and CM Punk. Like, once that gets all situated, that to me tells me that, okay, then we'll find out what's going on next, or they're just doing all these things because it's going to lead to something else in the future. So with that in mind, it's like, I also kind of get a little annoyed uh, when it comes to the same people always being in matchups.
Mm-hmm.
I don't get me wrong. I thought the Extreme Rules match tonight was fine and it did its job when it comes to what the match is supposed to be and everything. Like, I understand, they wanted to switch things up a little bit because you don't necessarily get stipulation matches like that all the time for regular episodes of a Raw or SmackDown or even NXT for the matter, especially for a main event. So I can appreciate that, but I really want to know exactly like what's going on next outside of, coming out to start the show, which we get it because he is a champion, so it makes sense. But it's typically just walking down on the ramp, hyping up so-and-so, and then someone interrupts.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I mean that's part of the WWE formula anymore, and really, I mean, I guess the pro wrestling formula too. But
Yeah.
it gets to a point where it's just like, okay, you're kind of just doing the same story beats here. It's like it's a lot like when people criticize One Piece for having the same story arcs. Like, oh, you're just doing the same thing. You go to a country, there's a princess in trouble, you help the princess, you save the country, move on to the next island, and your bounty goes up. Like, it's kind of in the same vein of that, at least on paper, where it's like, okay, you have your promo, you do your thing, like, especially with Paul Heyman, it's just like you come out there, you hype up the vision, Seth's about to speak, somebody's music hits, and either a brawl gets underway or they get the main event set up and all that. I will say, I along the lines of you, I am glad they put a stipulation on Jey versus Braun again, because yeah, it was around the time where it needs a stipulation to make it seem different. And yeah, I think the match itself was really fun. And I did see a tweet, and I kind of agree with this statement. Jey does really well with stipulation matches. I think that's where he really shines. Mainly because of his and I don't mean this in a very negative way either, but like just his limited move set, I think plays very well with a stipulation match because he'll be able to use chairs, kendo sticks, tables, whatever have you. So he's able to kind of hide some of that stuff that a lot of people complain about when it comes to Jey Uso's moveset and all that. But yeah, just this opening segment, man, just do something different. Like they tried to, but it's not different enough, I guess. Because again, it's just seeming like the same old shit over and over again. And that gets boring after a while and doesn't make me want to watch your product or even like pay attention to your product at all. It makes me want to zone out. But yeah, so I mean that was mainly the opening segment. Again, like I think Paul Heyman was very much the highlight of that. That and Jey like using the crowd a little bit more. Like he was having the kids doing the yeet. He was he was playing with the crowd, being like, "Hold on, I'm saying whoa, not yeet. Copy what I'm doing. Whoa!" Like that was fun and all that. But yeah, just overall, just kind of the same stuff and all that. But when it comes to like the backstage stuff, because we also have LA Knight, we also have CM Punk involved, and this is where I start getting a little bit more nitpicky when it comes to this storyline going on, because like Knight just doesn't like Punk right now, and it's not the fact that he doesn't like him because of it's Punk and all that. He doesn't like Punk because Punk keeps inserting himself in LA Knight's business. And I'm kind of on LA Knight's side here. It's just like, why, Punk, why are you constantly trying to like be buddy with me? Why are you trying to like get into my business? And I know Punk tried to say the other week, oh, like he tried to justify his actions and all that, but even still, just like, dude, just stay away. Like you would get pissed off too if somebody was constantly interrupting your matches and all that. And I mean, it got to a point where it's just like, Knight said, "Hey, Punk, you may want people on the same page, but no, I'm not doing all that." And yet, LA Knight still goes out there later on to beat up on the Brawns and gets put through a table for his troubles. Like, I'm just sitting here like, LA Knight, you're smarter than this. Like, you even said you're not gonna work together with Punk, and then you go out there and you're working together with Punk, and I mean, look where it got you. Like, just stop doing that, dude. I mean, I'm hoping we get a program between the two because this is kind of boiling over a little bit, where it's like, Punk, just leave LA Knight alone, just leave it strictly business and just be done with it. But like, he also tries to go to Jey to be like, hey, I'm gonna help you, and I don't know. I didn't like this version of Punk at all. Like, I get the mindset that he's going with like, oh well, we gotta all kind of watch out for Punk's for Seth's goons and all that. But I don't know. Like, it didn't sit well with me, I guess. I really don't know, but I could be alone in all this. Drop, what'd you think of like these backstage segments with like Punk interacting with Knight, Jey, and trying to get everybody to get to Paris all in one go?
I feel like they should all focus on each other, if I'm being honest, because if I was in a situation like this where I was gutting for a title, it was me and 3 other guys, or you had one of those guys as the champion, I had to go up against them, I would just focus on preparing myself. Like, what's the point of being buddy? Like, I understand they're a common enemy and everything, that makes sense, but you got to keep in mind that, you know, it's either you or the other people that's involved in the match that's going to end up winning that title or retaining the champion said title. So I would honestly try to take more time to figure out exactly how you're going to prepare yourself for Paris next week, because I mean, it contradicted, like you said, what happened later in the night, because one of the things I do like about LA Knight is that he's very upfront. He doesn't sugarcoat things. So, and for the most part, he's very consistent with what he says. So you don't necessarily need to worry about him all the time when it comes to like him saying something to the other guy, because it's normally pretty consistent. But you saw in the ring when he went there to help Punk, you know, they worked together to take the Brons out, which I get it. They're the common enemy. They work together and everything, but you should be worrying about yourself, because you even saw Punk when Knight got knocked down on that table, he just shrugged his shoulders and just continued doing what he's doing. So it's like, what was the point of that moment there that you just created where you work together to, you know, take out Bronze? If you guys both agreed ahead of time and the continuity was there, then that wouldn't have been that big of a deal. But it's the fact that LA Knight expressed his frustration and everything, and then you go against it, and then you ended up having CM Punk shrug his shoulders and just continue doing what he was doing before after Knight got knocked down. It just makes everything confusing.
Yeah, and I mean, I guess one workaround they did have with it was that at least LA Knight was the one that came out first, rather than Punk and then LA Knight. So at least there's at least, you know, a loophole in there, I guess would be the right word to use there. But like, yeah, it just doesn't sit right. I mean, again, like we said, we get it that it's just like, oh, the common enemy, blah blah blah. But like, I'm sorry, if I'm LA Knight and I'm seeing Jey Uso getting his ass kicked out there, I'm not gonna help. Oh, we got a title match in like 4 weeks or like a week from now. All right, that you're the idiot that decided to do a freaking Extreme Rules match. Oh, CM Punk's gonna try to get the band together and go up against Seth and his crew before the Fatal 4-Way. I don't want any part of that. I'm gonna watch you guys struggle from back here, because that's just the smart thing to do. And yeah, that's a heel thing to do. But the thing with LA Knight is he always kind of toes that line between heel and face, a little bit more face, you know, but it's he's LA Knight. Like, he just does what he wants to do, and it was just kind of ass backwards to me, really. Just being like, oh yeah, I'm gonna go out there and face off against Bron Breakker, not Braun, whatever. Those two assholes. Like, see, that's even getting me all confused and worked up. But I don't know. You went through a table for your troubles. Isn't that great? Cool, neat, awesome, LA Knight. But that's not the only thing that happened in this match. We had a good old sweet return happen near the closing stages of this contest, which again, like we've said, the match itself was basically the train wreck that we were expecting. I mean, again, like I said earlier, I think Jey really excels in stipulation matches like this, and Bron Breakker just showing more how he's a badass. I mean, that jump with that trash can to Jey onto the announce table, chef's kiss. It was great. Hopefully his legs are okay because I saw they hit that cart fairly hard and fairly awkwardly. So hopefully your legs are okay, Braun. But that's right. A returning Roman Reigns comes back, spears Braun, Superman punches Reed, and basically helps Jey win the match. And he challenges Bronson Reed for a match at Clash in Paris. So, how do you feel about like this turn where it's like we're prolonging the inevitable singles match between Bron Breakker and Roman Reigns? So now Roman has to go through Bronson Reed first in order to probably either get to Bron Breakker and then eventually Seth, I'm assuming. But yeah, what do you think about like this match that we're gonna get between the the tribal chief and the tribal thief?
I'm okay with it because it makes sense. I mean, he already has some ongoing beef with Bronson Reed as it is, just because of the shoe thing, and it just makes a lot of sense because we obviously know Chef's the big one. The Bron Breakker match, you could either do it any special PLE or if you want to save it specifically for WrestleMania. So they know they know what their money matches are, which is Roman and Seth, they're Roman and Bron Breakker. So I feel like giving this one at Clash in Paris, I personally don't have any issues with it. I feel like it makes a lot of sense. I'm all on board for it, and honestly, it's honestly about time. Bronson Reed, met his match in terms of like, yeah, you can't keep doing this stuff and you're expecting to get away with it.
Yeah. Yeah, and I mean, it's going to be a big shout for Bronson Reed too in the long run cuz like a program with Roman Reigns, whether you win or lose, I mean, you're in a program with Roman Reigns. That's going to be a big spotlight for you, especially if you end up, destroying Roman a bit cuz I believe he should be last I heard he is actually heading out to film for that Street Fighter movie soon. I think it's going to be out most of September. So they could always do an angle either during or after the match where they actually write off Roman Reigns for a bit, just to kind of be like, oh, he's written off, so now he's going to be filming filming for Street Fighter and all that. Because I know Cody's already out there because he had a teaser of his shadow, like in the Guile outfit.
Yeah.
So he's at least finishing up or doing his tapings and all that. But yeah, I mean, I agree. I'm glad he's going to be going through Bronson Reed first and then the inevitable Bron Breakker, which I don't see Bronson Reed beating Roman, but when we do end up getting to the Bron Breakker match, I would want Bron Breakker to win that one. But yeah, I mean, again, I thought the main event was fun. Again, train wreck of a match as usual. I think my biggest spot from the match would have to be the this gut buster that that Bron Breakker does to like these two chairs, to like 2J onto these two chairs. Like that was kind of brutal. And kudos to commentary, like pointing out, yeah, Jay's been dealing with a bunch of rib injuries this year. It's just like, oh yeah, good. Let's continue that little story tidbit there when it comes to Jay. But yeah, I mean, I thought the main event was fun. I mean, it was definitely one of the most fun things we had tonight.
Definitely, I agree. It was fun.
Like, yeah. So, yeah, I mean, honestly, not much more to go off because other than what we've talked about. I mean, again, like, kind of question the LA Knight thing, but I'm assuming we're gonna get a singles match with him and Punk here shortly, if not next week. to kind of lead into Paris and all that. So yeah, we'll see how this transitions into the coming weeks as they're doing this European tour and all that. So away from our main event scene, away from our headline stories, we're going to go on now to our mid-card stories. We got a couple things to kind of talk about here. One of them, actually, this is probably going to be a quick conversation here. The women's IC title was put on the line tonight as Becky Lynch defended against Natalya, not Natty Neidhart, which probably should have come out tonight. Nope, it was good old Becky Lynch. And before the match, backstage, Becky's she's pulling a Drew McIntyre here, where, oh, Buddy wants to join in. He wants to talk about how fun this Monday Night Raw was. Don't worry, buddy. We're in the good parts of Raw.
Yeah.
We're in the most fun parts of Raw. Where so Becky tries to pull a Drew McIntyre. And what I mean by that is she tries to gaslight everybody thinking, oh, Natty was the one that attacked me. I didn't attack her. I just defended myself. She was the one that tried to verbally attack me. She was the one that got in my face last week, so I just retaliated. Sure, I mean, it works more for Drew in his case against Cody from Friday, but fine, whatever, Becky, whatever floats your boat, girl. But of course, she's a little bit better. She doesn't belong in my division. Like, she even mentions Natalya going out to like other promotions and wrestling. So you would think, oh, maybe WWE could actually kind of capitalize on that Natty Neidhart that's running rampant on some of these indie promotions, because that Natty should have been here tonight. I don't know what this Natty was, because this was basically a nothing match. This was a whole nothing burger of a match. Becky wins. She beats up the faces. Out comes Nikki Bella for the save. Beats up Becky. That's your lot. I mean, I already didn't really care about Becky versus Nikki for the title. And this string of matches that she's had with like Maxine Dupree and Natalya have not helped at all. Just a bunch of nothing burgers. This is just Becky's filler arc right now.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I would probably have to say the same thing, because it's pretty much one of those situations where, Becky's on a little side quest right now, so now she's got to deal with Nikki Bella, which I wouldn't be surprised in the slightest if that's a match announced for Clash in Paris, because it seems like they're prolonging it for a reason, and that's the only one they really built something up with, so I would assume it to be on the card in some way, shape, or form. So I can easily see that being the case. I don't really see a reason to like prolong it to another PLE, because they've been building on it for quite a bit now, so they might as well just have it during that one. But yeah, the thing I really wanted to see is that version of Natalya, because that's the one that seems to be getting a lot of attraction. One of the things that you want to do is to capitalize when it's hot, and that version of her is hot in the indies scene right now when it comes to what she's currently doing. So I would easily do one of those things where, she's that character and she brings it there, because I feel like it would make them a lot of money. It would get over. It's something unique for her that could probably really help elevate her career, because she's had her moments here and there, but I feel like if you bring that over to the company and actually use that version of the character, I feel like it would honestly do wonders for her. But yeah, this match itself, it happened. Becky got the win. Didn't really take that much out of her to really get it after a while. She applied the disarm her, and not only Natalya, but Maxine as well, because she intervened. Oh, she intervened and got herself involved in things. So I'm just hoping for the best for Natty when it comes to whatever they decide to do with that character. But I don't really have that many thoughts to say about this, honestly. It didn't really like blow me away.
No, me either. And see, this has just been my issue with WWE. It feels like sometimes anymore they're too afraid of uniqueness, which is weird to say considering we had freaking Mr. Iguana on this show. Which don't worry, we'll get to that here in a little bit. But it's like I don't know, because like you said, that the Natty Neidhart that we keep seeing from like Bloodsport, she was literally at AAA this past weekend as Natty Neidhart. They even mentioned it on commentary how like she had this different aura about her. So it's just like, why not capitalize on that on the main roster? Why not give her that little bit of extra character in there? It's just like it's so weird when you look at the main roster because
Mhm.
again, it's almost like they're so afraid to have something unique, something different, because like that's why when we get matches like the Judgment Day versus Mr. Iguana and Dragon Lee, you actually have a lot of fun with it because not only are they actual freaking characters, but they're allowed to freaking go in the ring, like those two things. And the fact that like you're not gonna let Natty go out like that. Come on, man. Like even if she gets a rematch with Becky later on and she busts out the Natty Neidhart thing, I feel like it would just be too late because you
Yeah.
really should have just done it here. You know,
Yeah.
it would have pushed her momentum from AAA and all that.
It definitely would, which is why I wish that they would do something with that, because we even spoke about it on Grappling with the Week,
Hmm.
and it seems like it is something she's interested in doing. Why not give it a shot? If it's working over there,
Yeah.
it'll more than likely work a lot better over here, considering there's more eyes on the product, and they could easily make money out of it too.
Hmm. And I mean, her social media game with it went up too. I mean, she even was busting out some stuff leading up to this match, and it's just like, yeah, just capitalize on it, just do something with it. You have it. Are you just allergic to money, like legit money? Not like, oh, I'm gonna, price the hell out of you for coming to our shows and buying our product and all that. Instead of doing it like that, why not do something to make us be invested, make us feel invested, make us want to be there and all that? But yeah, again, just kind of a nothing burger of a match. And then again, Nikki Bella comes out for the save, and I'm just sitting here like I don't want to see Nikki Bella against Becky. Like I already didn't want to see that, and I mean, I just have to get through it until Paris is over with. So if that's even still happening in Paris, that hasn't been announced yet, but well, we'll have to see what happens when we get to Paris. But let's get into something I think we can maybe talk a little bit more about. So, Iyo Sky lately has been dealing with a lot of stuff when it comes to her friendship with the Kabuki Warriors. And tonight was no different. So, Iyo Sky was taking on Raquel Rodriguez in a match tonight. And before the match, Asuka comes up to Iyo. She's just like, hey, I'm sorry for last week. Let's still be friends. We got a little hot headed. Everything's fine. And of course, they all freak out. They all happy and all that. But Io still wants to do it on her own, just like Asuka did back in the day and all that. So cool, great. That's fine. Let's see what you can do. And you know what? This is actually a pretty good match. All things considering, like you had some distractions from Roxanne, obviously, that led to this massive big boot from Raquel to Io, which good job on Io for selling that as she did. But after the commercial break, Io was able to pick up the pace again, running circles around Raquel, and she misses an over the moonsault, which leads to a big comeback from Raquel. And I think one thing was really cool. Io like tossed Raquel out of the ring, and she was going for a suicide dive, but instead she goes on one onto Roxanne first, kind of take her out, and then when she goes to do the one on Raquel, Raquel actually rolls through with it and like picks Io up and just like lawn darts her into the corner of the ring. I thought that was a really cool, really innovative spot there, but Of course, Iyo is able to reverse the Tiana bomb with a Hurricane Rana, does a bullet train attack over the moonsault for the win. 1, 2, 3. Picks up a massive victory. Roxanne and Raquel then beat down Iyo Sky after the match, and she's saved by Rhea Ripley of all people. Not the Kabukis, but Rhea Ripley, which leads to a big old fight. Mainly a fight with words in the back, with Asuka being like, "Hey, stay out of our business," and Iyo crashing out, Kyrie looking all sad, and Rhea's just not sure where she's going with anything. When it comes to the match itself, I thought the match was fine. I thought it was really good. That one spot with like Raquel rolling through with the suicide dive, I thought was really good. And yeah, we're just pushing this ever so yeah, we're just pushing this story with the Kabukis turning on Iyo, Rhea being the only person Iyo can really trust or anything, and poor Iyo just being in the middle of all this. Yeah, so what do you think of the match, the post match stuff, dealing with the Kabukis and Rhea? How'd you feel about all this?
So I thought the match was pretty good. Probably one of the things I was looking forward to the most. Obviously, since Io's involved, so I always look forward to seeing her performances in her matches, and I thought she did very well against Roxanne tonight. And Roxanne also did a pretty good job as well, so I did appreciate the match aspect that we got out of it. The real story here is what's currently going on with Iyo Sky and the Kabuki Warriors and the whole Rhea Ripley situation that's just lumped in there. Because you have this whole thing where, Asuka wants to help out Iyo wants to win things on her own. They respect her wishes this week for it because they apologized for their actions last week, like you said. Then you ended up having shenanigans happen. Rhea came out there, obviously, since she cares about Iyo, since they're friends. She goes out to help there. She goes out there to help her. Her and Iyo are standing in the ring looking over. They talk in the back about the whole situation, and that's when Asuka and Iyo come into the picture. But this is just telling me right here that we're probably going to be having something going on when it comes to the Kabuki Warriors just getting really fed up with Iyo Sky, wondering what she's doing, wondering what team she's going to side with, wondering, is it going to be us or her? Because they obviously made it pretty apparent, at least when it comes to Asuka's case, that she doesn't really like Rhea at all whatsoever. That's why she always pushes her away whenever she sees her. So I feel like it's going to lead to one of those things where, yes, Iyo is upset right now. She's weirded out about the situation. But I feel like it's coming to a point where since Iyo and Rhea aren't involved in the main title picture at the moment, it might just be one of those things where this is going to lead into a match of like Iyo and Rhea against the Kabuki Warriors down the line, and possibly even a feud brewing between Iyo Sky and Asuka, which is something that was said in terms of Asuka's heel character. I remember seeing a report on that, of us potentially seeing that soon. So that's definitely going to be one of the things that we potentially see. So I am very interested in that because it's something different. There's actual story there. They've been together forever. They're really close friends. So seeing the next step of their relationship head down a different direction, and Iyo might possibly break their hearts by the kind of decision she makes, or whatever the case may be leading up to that, I would probably say that I am very curious to see where that's going to go.
Yeah. Oh, I'm curious as well. And I mean, the other thing that kind of tickles my pickle when it comes to all this is the possibility of a singles match between Asuka and Rhea.
Oh yeah.
Like that's gonna hit. And especially if Asuka comes to work and all that. I mean, not saying she normally doesn't, but like if she comes out there and they let her go full throttle, yeah, that could be a really good match that night, whenever that is. Yeah, interesting wrinkle when it comes to Rhea's involvement with all this. And yeah, it is probably going to lead down the line to them versus the Kabuki Warriors. It could also, I think we had mentioned this too a couple weeks ago, where it could lead to like Rhea and Iyo just becoming a team,
Yeah.
and maybe they go for the tag titles instead too. So yeah, we'll have to see when it comes to that as well. But like, yeah, I just feel bad for Iyo during all this. I mean, she couldn't get back to her title. She couldn't even go for her title a couple weeks ago because freaking Naomi, got pregnant and all that. So yeah, she's kind of, it makes sense why she's crashing out a little bit, because not only is she not able to get her title back, but all the people that she's friends with, they're starting to kind of fight with each other now, and they're just not seeing eye to eye when it comes to a lot of things. And it sucks when you're in the middle of that, especially when it's like two different friend groups that you really like being around, but they just kind of can't mesh when they're together. So, but yeah, I mean, I'm sorry, people don't have anything more to say on that. Unless Drop, do you have anything else?
No, I pretty much summed up how I felt there. Just
Yeah.
curious to see what the next step is going to be for this storyline with the girls.
Yeah. Yeah, because that's the thing. And like, it seems very straightforward. So it's like, I don't know what other twist they could do with it other than like the eventual when Kyrie turns, because she keeps being the one that's like very sad and mopey whenever Asuka's being all bitchy and all that. So yeah, we'll just have to keep an eye on it and see how things go and all that, you know. But Buddy's gonna help us keep an eye on it though. I see he's ready to stay alert with everything.
Mm-hmm.
Oh man. But hey, you know what? When it comes from one animal to another, the Judgment Day had to take care of their own animal problems, because they had to take on not only a dragon, but an iguana. That's right. Finn Balor and JD McDonough had to take on Mr. Iguana and Dragon Lee. You know what? I thought this match was really good. I thought that, because it had a hot start with JD and Dragon Lee, like they both came out guns blazing. They were ready to get after it tonight. And yeah, and even after the break, those two are still in the ring going after each other. Like, the speed at which Dragon Lee was going between the ropes and doing his offense and all that, and the ferocity that JD McDonough had in the match. I mean, even Michael Cole said it, and I'd agree with him too. JD might be one of the most underrated performers on the roster. Like, he can show out when he wants to, and when he's allowed to, But yeah, so a bit of back and forth as we see with these tag matches. Layeska and Iguana do put on a good showing, especially Iguana's his selling was kind of crazy, like where he just kind of like freezes up on the mat, where he's just like and then like he tried to like swim away or something. I don't know, it was so weird, it was so goofy, but I really loved it. It was fun. um Yeah, but after a distraction from Dominic Mysterio, Finn is able to set up and hit the coup de grace for the win. There's another post-match beatdown from the heels, and out comes Vikingo to make the save, but unfortunately, he is taken down by Dominic Mysterio, who's actually challenging him in a singles match for the AAA Mega Championship at Worlds Collide on September 12th. So that's going to be interesting to see, because I know a lot of people kind of want them to put that belt on Dom. So we'll see if that's going to be his crowning moment right there. But again, I thought this match was really good. I kind of want them to run it back a little bit. Judgment Day, do more with these luchadors, because I think that might be the ticket right there. Just like getting them to like get these luchadors to kind of showcase a little bit, you know. But Drop, what do you think of this match, and just kind of leading into like the more of this AAA involvement when it comes to the main roster?
So one thing I will say is I do like how they're being shown off on the show. when it comes to them getting some sort of involvement here. So it seems like, the whole partnership with AAA, well, I can't really say partnership, the whole acquisition with AAA is actually doing very well with them because they're able to help them out on their special shows, like the Triple Mania that we got over the weekend. They're able to showcase their talent on Monday Night Raw because even Michael Cole said this is Mr. Iguana's Raw debut and everything, and it seems like people actually legitimately care about them, which makes me really happy because it's nice to see people like this on the television. And I thought the match was pretty good as well. I mean, there's a lot of good moments. There's a lot of things that I was honestly surprised to see Mr. Iguana do in this match, especially when it came to outside of the ring. Because I know a lot of people look at him as like this sort of meme character, but he could actually wrestle and do a couple cool things. So I liked seeing what he was able to do. I like seeing Dragon Lee on TV actually doing something. So that was nice as well, because I just want to make sure that, these luchadors are being featured properly, and I wouldn't be against what you said. Have the Judgment Day, do more matches with them, showcase what they're made of, everything along the lines of that. And again, JD, I will say, is very underrated. I am hoping in the future, outside of this Judgment Day stuff, that he has some sort of future in store for him, because he could do a lot of things. Even after the injury that he had, he could still do a lot of things. So I'm just hoping for the best when it comes to what he can do. But obviously we knew towards the end of the match, after Finn Balor won with a coup de grace, that there was going to end up being a post-match beatdown with Dom and Vikingo, which pretty much leads to their match at Worlds Collide next month. So I am very intrigued to see where that's going to go. I'm also very I also really like how they're pushing Dom right now, because they're putting him in a match at that at that what do you call it, at that event itself. When it comes to a world title on the line, it's not like 2 or 3 other people involved. It's actually him and Vikingo. And the Vikingo's great. Like, he's a very great wrestler. So I like how much faith they have in Dom too. That gets me really happy.
Yeah, same here. And I think too, with like a lot of these AAA guys who are getting the main roster exposure, especially with who they're facing off with, and it's mainly Dom too that they're facing off with, which is also really good. It's a good way for them to transition into the WWE style and to learn about it and to grow from it and to really like put their own twist with it as well. Because I mean, we knew as soon as WWE got AAA that they were going to kind of WWEify it, especially when it comes to the in-ring work. And I'm glad like some of it hasn't really changed drastically from them. Like, I did see a couple moments from Triple Mania, and yeah, everybody, like, even Michael Cole said, yeah, or maybe it was Corey Graves, I don't know. Commentary basically said that Dragon Lee was the most focused he had been this past weekend, and there were a couple times where he could have won the title at that moment, but unfortunately he didn't. And I mean, it kind of bled into tonight. I mean, just the speed he was moving around, and like, I don't know, man. I was just really impressed. It's been a hot minute since I've seen Dragon Lee move around like that. And
Yeah.
yeah, just more of that, guys. And you could tell that not only just from Dragon Lee, but from everybody in that ring. Like, everybody that was part of that match was, I don't know, they had some fire just lit underneath their butts to really like put on just a fun show right there. So yeah, just more of that. Now what do you think about this El Grande Americano partnership that Dom's trying to have? Because he was seen backstage with them, and even Finn Balor's just like, huh, well, I wonder why he's making moves without really talking to us. Okay, fine. What do you think about this partnership with El Grande Americano?
Um hopefully it leads to something, because it seems like they're on a page for sure when it comes to the whole love they have for that little block of whatever it is that they always put in their heads when they're trying to take out people and everything. But I mean, hey, it's a way to get him involved in something major. It's a way to really push the needle with him, with Chad Gable gone, and you got Kaiser taking over, which I can only imagine what's going through his head when it comes to that. But
oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, again, like it's one of those things where it's just like, you know, you have this fun match and all that, but it's like there's not much else to kind of go off of when it comes to discussion and all that stuff.
The only thing I can really see is just going to be used as like extra backup, because realistically, does Dom need as much backup as he has right now?
I mean, he doesn't need it, but it could be one of those things where, like, he's just like, hey, El Grande, you help me win this title, you'll get the first grab, you'll get first dib. You know,
it could easily be one of those things.
Yeah. Which, I mean, that would be a big thing for El Grande Americano, especially this version of El Grande Americano. Which he has a cape now. Isn't that cool?
Oh boy. Keeps getting
There's
worse.
a new addition.
I can only imagine how weird those figures are gonna look. You're gonna have a Chad Gable figure and then a Kaiser figure.
I know.
And what are you gonna do for 2K? You're gonna have like 2 different versions of him in 2K.
Ooh, I need to check actually, because I think they only put the Chad Gable version on there right now. Which, all right, I guess we'll have to copy and paste Ludwig Kaiser into the new one. But yeah. But speaking of luchadors, we're gonna keep this luchador talk going because Penta took on Xavier Woods. Because hey, a couple weeks ago, Penta took Xavier Woods' big old hat and danced with it and then destroyed it, I guess. I don't know. Apparently the hat cost 18 grand, which is insane for a hat to cost, but cool, neat, awesome, fan flipping tastic. A bit of taunting to start the match off, but Woods seems to be on top for the majority of the match. A bit of back and forth action. Penta able to counter the honor roll into a Penta driver, but Kofi ends up Xavier Woods ends up rolling towards the side of the ring, and Kofi puts his foot up on the rope to call the ref, hey, his foot's on the rope, don't call the pinfall, blah, 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 all that stuff. And this kind of pisses off Penta a little bit. So he leaps to the outside, takes out Grayson Waller and Kofi Kingston, goes back in, hits a Mexican destroyer that gives Penta the win. I thought the match was fine. Not as fun as the other matches we've talked about tonight, or at least the one we talked about before this match. But yeah, I mean, I thought it was fine. We're getting Kofi versus Penta next week, which is a great. I think that should be fun. That should be really good. Yeah, I don't have anything. I'm ready for this filler arc to be done as well. Like everything just feels like filler tonight to me. Like, yeah, a couple things here and there that were fine, mainly like the Iyo Sky stuff, but yeah, just like this is one of those instances where it's just like this is just filler.
Yeah, that's honestly all I have to really say about this. I feel like this didn't really do much for me. I don't really know what's the whole meaning behind this. Like, okay, now you got Penta versus Kofi Kingston next week. Like, okay, like I don't understand. Is Penta gaining anything from this? Is this gaining him momentum to lead on to an IC title or whatever it is? Like, it just seems like it's just oddly placed here.
Yeah. I mean, really, you just kind of said it right there. I mean, really, the only gain he's getting is just wins.
Yeah.
Like, which is just more momentum for him to go for a title and hopefully win a title eventually. Like, yeah, again, just a filler episode here going on. So we're just gonna move right along to our quickfire segments. We have 2 tonight because we had one video package for Bailey. Who she doesn't know what she wants or needs. She seems to hear these voices in her head, so she should probably talk to Randy Orton about all that. But I like this one a little better than last week because it at least kind of played more about like what's going on. It's just like her doubting herself now, like she normally does, but like it's more of just like that cocky Bailey we had, that cocky
Yeah.
heel Bailey, who was just like, yeah, you don't need anybody. You know, you used to be a double champion. You used to be like the longest reigning SmackDown Women's Champion. You know, like what's your deal now? What's going on now? Ding dong, idiot! Like that confident, cocky Bailey is trying to come through again into this like more peaceful, zenned out Bailey. So it's at least different from like the other crazy things we've gotten beforehand. But any thoughts on this Bailey video package we got?
I'm interested to see where the potential of Bailey's character goes beyond this point, because I'm just going to throw it out here because I was just thinking about it in the moment. Let's say Stephanie Vaquer wins against her opponent, which I feel like she might during this Clash in Paris PLE. I'm pretty confident now with Naomi out of the way that Stephanie has somewhat of a chance to win. But
Yeah.
I could easily see this new version of Bailey maybe down the line being one of her opponents.
Yeah. Oh, I would have definitely agree with that. Yeah, so I'm just gonna because I know I had my hangups last week, I believe, when it came to like the Bailey character change, because it felt again very samey to what we got with like with Naomi, where she kind of crashed out and went crazy and all that. But this one seems a little bit more introspective in that
Yeah.
aspect, which I like. You know, it's not about like the people doing it; it's more of just her doubting herself.
Which plays a part in
And
a lot of things of her career as a whole.
yeah, I mean, she's always been like that. Like, she's always been that person that like always second guesses herself and always just kind of wonders why or like why am I in this rut that I'm in? How can I get out of this rut? Like things like that and everything. So yeah, we'll have to see how the evolution of Bailey continues. And of course, our other quickfire segment, Sheamus and Rusev almost get into another fight, but it's broken off, and Adam Pearce makes it official. Those two are going to face each other at Clash in Paris in a good old-fashioned Donnybrook match. That's going to be hella fun.
Yeah, it's gonna
Like,
be really
and I
good.
mean, to even take the word from Sheamus, it's going to be a banger.
Oh hell yeah. Yeah, that's gonna be a fun match. I am looking forward to that.
Oh yeah. Oh, same here. Oh man, but you know, but buddy, what did you think of Raw tonight? I'm gonna ask you first, buddy. How'd you think of Raw? Did you think it was awesome, or did you think it was a big old stinky pile of what you probably leave in the yard?
I do know for him, for the most part, when the show was on, he was sleeping. So
Yeah.
outside of a few
Yes.
things that he was like up and moving around, he probably didn't care for the show as much.
Yeah. Yeah. Sydney was distracted by a bone. She wasn't really looking up at the screen or anything. She was just kind of like, "Oh, that's right. It's Monday. Oh, well, I'm just gonna look at this and all that. Why you have your suitcase out, Dad? Why is that out? Well, don't worry about it, girl. You'll find out on Thursday and all that. Yeah, it's just a filler arc, man. It was just a filler episode this week. It felt like, yeah, we got the EO stuff. Yeah, we got the Vision stuff and all that with the main event, which you know were good things and all that. But like a lot of this show just felt like a filler episode. It just felt like we were just going on these side quests, trying to complete these side quests, and just plodding along towards this Paris show and all that. Which, I mean, the card's looking pretty good, and of course, the crowd's going to be in it for Clash in Paris. But yeah, what did you think of the night, though?
So honestly, when it comes to this show as a whole, I would have to say I thought it was an alright show. There was a couple things in here that stood out to me. Obviously, I'm interested in what we just discussed in our quick fire segments when it comes to Bailey very curious to see where that leads to. Hopefully it's something that's very beneficial for her and really does wonders for her, because now with Naomi out of the picture, focusing on what matters to her the most, which makes a lot of sense. Hopefully that opens up the door for things that she could do, because like you mentioned before, Raw needed a big heel for the ladies. Bayley could easily fit as one of those big heels now that they need with this new character, because I would assume it's probably a heel character just based on the voices going in your head. I don't really see that as someone that's like a good guy. It doesn't really rub me off that way. Interested to see what goes on with Iyo and the Kabuki Warrior situation, or Rhea. That's another thing I'm invested in. And all in all, I'm just hoping they try a little bit better with like the main event scene in terms of like the group itself and what sort of goals they're setting for themselves next.
Yep. So yeah, hopefully we get some more goals, and yeah, we just start pressing forward a little bit, because yeah, it just feels like we're just kind of trotting along, just letting the hype push us through and all that. But hype can only get you so far. You got to give us something to really just like dive into and all that, because then we can have longer shows than this week and all that, which it's fine to have a shorter show. It's fine to have a shorter episode, fine to just kind of chill out a little bit and everything. Yeah, so which leads me into quick little announcement for everybody this week. So this week we're actually going to be taking a little bit of a break. Thursday, so there won't be an episode of Grappling with the Week on Thursday. Friday there won't be an episode of SmackDown, but we do have something planned to come out on Friday, so be sure to at least look out for that. But another reason we're taking this break is because me and Vash are actually going to be going to Anime NYC, and so that'll be this weekend. So if you guys are out there at Anime NYC, or even just in New York, you see me or Vash, come up and say hi. We'll say hi. I know I won't bite. Vash might. I don't know, but I'm sure. I think he did have his rabies shot, so you should be fine if he sinks his teeth into you. But joking out of the way, yeah, we'll be out there doing some stuff. And we'll be back for Monday Night Raw next week and everything. So we're all just gonna kind of take it easy, take a nice little chill pill for the rest of this week, and come back even stronger for Monday Night Raw next week. But with that being said, Drop, do you have any plugs you want to give? Because I know you've been busy with the content and all that. Anything you wanted to plug before we head on out?
Yeah, so I am getting back into doing anime content again, because I really breezed through a lot of cartoon stuff, so there really isn't much for me to talk about at the moment. I don't want to really sit on that if there's nothing there for me to do. That's why Buddy's here trying to tell you that right in the camera. And yeah, I breezed through a lot of stuff that I normally talk about, so I'm gonna branch out, do some anime content for a little bit, talk about that. And I do have videos I am prepping myself up. Like, I am going to be covering Chainsaw Man manga on a weekly basis, or I should say bi-weekly, because it's bi-weekly sometimes when it comes to the schedule. And I plan on covering a lot of the newer series, giving my thoughts on it, discussions from said series that I want to be consistent with on the channel. Chainsaw Man's probably the main one, because it's my favorite manga, so I want to make sure I'm giving as much attention as I possibly can with that. But those are all the plugs I have right now. I do have a video on Kagurabachi coming out tomorrow in terms of the anime, so that should be good. I was trying to get that situated earlier, but YouTube isn't allowing me to upload videos because it keeps freezing at like 33% for some reason, so it's a problem with YouTube itself. So
Oh, that's weird.
yeah.
I hate when it does that.
Yeah.
Like, I remember one time I was doing that a lot, and I'm like, come on, man, just give me a 34, give me a 35. Like, why you gotta stop at 33? Come on,
Yeah.
But yeah, in order to keep track of everything that Drop will be dropping for you guys, link to his channel in the description below, as well as links to all of our social media accounts. You see the ads right there on your screen. The Anime We Studio, that is the parent company. You got at Legendary Vash, you got at Drop This Box, Watkins MW, Weebs of the Ring, and of course the hashtag Weebs of the Ring. Be sure to use that whenever you're posting about these shows and making jokes, memes, all that stuff, engaging with us. That's the best way you could do that. And we go by those names on the majority of our social media. So Twitter, Instagram, YouTube. Yeah. Go check us out. Go check us out. Just come talk to us and all that. And we would love to engage with you. And yeah, I'm just gonna end it there. I'm gonna end it there. We're gonna end it all here. So thank you once again, everybody, for checking out the Weebs of the Ring podcast and taking time out of your day to listen to the Weebs of the Ring podcast. If you enjoyed what we had to say, again, all those things are in the description below. There's also a like button. There's also a subscribe button. Do all that stuff, and it helps us grow, and it helps us understand where we need to improve and all that. But the best way to do that and give us feedback is by using that hashtag Weebs of the Ring to engage with us before, during, or after these shows. And again, giving us feedback is a great way to help us boost our game, because we are nothing without you guys tuning into the show. Weebs of the Ring is presented by Anime We Studio. Thanks, of course, to our production team for all of their hard work. Thank you once again for joining us. And remember, as always, no stunt grannies were harmed in a recording of this podcast. Have a good night, ladies and gentlemen. And we will see you guys next week for Monday Night Raw. Have a good one.
See you guys.